Hey Musketeers, last week you saw my final Disney Princess Showdown in which Belle was the ultimate champion. Did you like it? I want to hear, but I have to take a call really quickly from a small provincial town in France. Hello? Oh, it's Paige O'Hara, the voice actress for Belle. Hi Paige, how are you doing?
Hey Sarah, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great today. It's such a pleasure to speak to you. Okay, so as you know, because you've seen the videos, I compare Disney princesses, and many people have asked me to talk about Belle because they consider her the smartest and best Disney princess. So how does it feel 20 years after the release of Beauty and the Beast to know that people still love Belle and consider her the best Disney princess?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, it's been an ongoing job for 20 years. Whoever thought, you know, when I first got hired, I'd still be working for Disney. You know?
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I mean, because every 6 years or so, there's a new generation of kids that discover Belle and Beauty and the Beast, and the fan mail still comes, and it's just it's wonderful, you know. So I have people that are, you know, in their 40s and 50s that love her, and then people in their 20s, and then now, you know, the younger kids. It's great. It's really great.
Yeah, and I know that Beauty and the Beast has been given sequels and video games and translated into a Broadway show and been incorporated into things like World of Color at the Disney parks. So have you been involved in all of those projects? And if so, which ones have been your favorites?
Well, I think actually when we did the Enchanted Christmas, which was actually kind of a prequel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was.
I think that was definitely my favorite. I thought it was extremely well done. And I'm very proud of it actually, and I love the score that was written for it, and and I love the message, obviously.
Yeah, because it's hard to do sequels and prequels to movies that people already love so much, you know.
It's true. That one they actually really did a really good job of.
Yeah, I did like it too. So I found out recently, doing some research, that Walt Disney actually wanted to do Beauty and the Beast in the 40s or 50s, but they had some trouble doing the animation for it, and so it was pushed back. If you were not able to do the voice of Belle, if he had actually made it in the 50s, which Disney princess would you have chosen to voice if you could pick a different one?
Of course, Belle is still my favorite, but I think Cinderella would be the one.
Oh, Cinderella, that's surprising. How come?
I think I just, I don't know, I just have a sympathy for Cinderella.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to make her a little feistier, but certainly the story is wonderful.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Well, and I also am partial to it because I helped raise my great niece, and she, you know, it became old hat that Auntie Paige was you know, Belle, and one day she was like 3 years old. She said, Auntie Paige, do you think you could do the voice of Cinderella?
Oh, that's adorable.
It's like, oh God, that was funny.
Yeah, so Cinderella.
But definitely, I mean, the princesses have changed in terms of the personalities of our time, and then back in the 40s and 50s, obviously with Ariel and Mulan and all of them actually.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is considered to be a part of what people call the Disney Renaissance. Did you know at the time that animation at the Disney company was changing and that these movies were going to be considered a renaissance in animation, or did that become a realization later?
It really became a realization later. I mean, I knew it was going to be one of the last films that's predominantly hand-drawn. And,
yeah.
That was pretty phenomenal, just watching that process. You know, it would take an animator an entire week just to draw 20 seconds of film, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, you know, there's something to be said about the hand-drawn animation. It's really, I'm an artist myself. I'm actually an artist for Disney. I don't know if you know that.
You are? Wow, I didn't know that. I knew that you...
I signed on 2 years ago with Disney Fine Arts, so I'm painting for them now.
I've seen some of your paintings of Belle and stuff. I didn't know that you actually painted for Disney. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's, you know, I have like 2 jobs at Disney.
Yeah, exactly. So can you tell me a little bit about the audition process and how you found out about the role and how it became available to you?
Well, you know, I was well aware, of course, of Little Mermaid, and I'm, you know, a huge fan of Alan Menken and Howard Ashman and Jodie, of course. And I actually read about it in the New York Times that it was happening.
Oh wow!
And I told my agent I have to be seen for this, and she got me an audition. I auditioned 5 times.
5 times.
They would close their eyes sometimes when I was recording. And it was really an amazing thing. And I'm not usually the most confident person in auditions, but when I read the script, I really felt strongly about the character, that it was so much like me that I really felt I had a really good chance at it. And then I also knew by the third audition, Howard Ashman told me that one of his favorite recordings that he listens to all the time was my Showboat recording. And so I thought, oh, that's good.
Yeah, gives you a leg up. Yeah, of course. That's amazing that you felt such a connection to her, and it's funny also you seem to look a lot like her. Did you actually have any input on her appearance or some of the things that she says in the movies?
Well, yes, actually. The original drawings that James Baxter did of Belle and Mark Hen, she was pretty much like an Angelina Jolie kind of beauty.
Oh, wow.
It was like scary, you know. and they decided to to make her look more like me, and they told me to use my cheekbones and the shape of my eyes, but the quirkiness stuff that we did, because we were videotaped when we did the film. Like I had that little piece of hair in my eye all the time I was pushing out of my face, and they incorporated things like that.
That's amazing, because that's one of the things that I associate with Belle's character. Like, when I picture her in my head, I picture her brushing that one piece out of her eye, so it's funny that you kind of gave her that.
Yeah, that was just part of it. My hair was a mess when I was sitting, and it was long, and I would constantly be doing that, and of course they picked that up right away and put that in. So, and I love the fact, and I get so much fan mail from especially young girls that were so happy to have a brown-eyed, brown-haired princess.
Yeah, she's a first. Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of girls have written to me and said, "Finally, a princess that looks like me."
Yeah, she was definitely revolutionary in many ways. So, Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Song and even won Best Score and Best Song at the Oscars. What song was your favorite? It doesn't have to be one that you sang on, but from the film overall, which was your favorite?
Well, I'm partial to Beauty and the Beast because that was sort of a kind of a sad but strange way that I found out about the song. Alan Menken had me over to his house, and Howard was in the hospital at the time.
Yeah.
And I was going to sing it for the press conferences because Angela didn't want to. And so I learned the song, and Howard and Alan got all excited, and he said, we have to call Alan because he hasn't heard anybody but me sing it. So I sang the song over to the phone to Howard, and that was really my last time I got to talk to Howard. And so I've always had a really soft spot for that song, but I also really love Human Again.
Oh, that's interesting, because I never even got to hear that song until the re-release of the DVD, and they added it back in, so Human Again.
Oh, and that was Howard's favorite, and it was all, when the first film came out the first time, it was all about timing, that you couldn't go past a certain amount of time. It's like a formula, and I know he was really hurt that it wasn't going to be in the film, and so when they put it back in, and that song makes me cry. I just love that song.
Yeah, so that's the only reason that it wasn't included, was a timing thing?
Timing, yeah. Because everyone loved this, and then, of course, years later they realized, kids are a lot smarter and a lot more patient. And they will sit through an extra 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah, it's a great song, because I wasn't sure when I first saw it whether it had been written just to be added in or if it was written originally, but it was one of the original songs. That's wonderful. Yeah,
it was, and Howard loved it, and it really, I think it helps the film. You see the inside of what these little, objects are going through and what they're living as well, and I just think and also musically, I think it's one of the best melodies that Alan's ever written.
So I'm curious to ask you whether or not you've heard about the construction that's going on at Walt Disney World right now. They're doing a Fantasyland expansion, and they're doing a ton of stuff with Beauty and the Beast. They're building Gaston's Tavern and the Beast Castle and a restaurant inside of the ballroom of the castle. So have you heard about this? And if you have, are you excited to see it?
You were the one that gave me the news on that.
Oh, really?
And then after you did, Michael and I looked it up, and then, wow, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of that brought to life, because I haven't been farther than Disneyland and occasionally Disney World, so I haven't seen a lot of, Disneyland Paris has the Beast Castle and stuff like that. So, are you gonna visit? Yeah, you should visit.
Well, I'm hoping they'll invite me to be there as the opening. Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Do you get to do a lot of stuff like that when things are released? You get to go.
Yes, they involved me in a lot of the. Actually, they put me on tour for a month last September for the Blu-ray, and I went to 12 cities, including London, which was really wonderful. And it was a hoot. They actually gave me a stylist. I was like,
That's
oh,
fun.
boy, how fancy is that? I have a stylist. I guess they were afraid I'd be showing up in my jeans and
Oh
sports.
no. Well, that's really fun. That'd be a great perk to a job. So it looks like I'm running out of time with you, but I wanted to just ask if there was one favorite funny memory from working on Beauty and the Beast that you could share with us before we go.
Oh, favorite moment. Oh my gosh. Well, really, when it was unfinished, and we did just it was a special version for the New York Film Festival, and
Mhm.
part of the film was finished, and a lot of the film was still hand drawn, and we were all so nervous, me being a Broadway person, and I know how tough the Broadway critics are, and we all saw that version of it for the first time together, the whole cast,
Mhm.
and watching it like that, and seeing the toughest critics in the world in New York spontaneously stand up and cheer after they applauded each song, which was really cool.
Wow, that's such like a Broadway thing for a movie.
It was a 10-minute standing ovation.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. I was, and I knew then that we had something really, really special, even with the unfinished version, that it was going to be something really, that was going to be remarkable. But it really wasn't until the film festival that I really figured it out.
Yeah, that's amazing. It definitely is something special. It's, to many people, the best Disney film to date. So thank you so much for agreeing to interview with me. I'm sure my viewers are going to be so happy and excited to hear from you.
Well, I'm glad you like Belle. I think she's
I love Belle, yeah.
very special, and I'm very glad that they wrote her to be intelligent, as well as the other qualities you said. She's brave and selfless.
Yeah, she's kind,
The
she's
thing that I think
intelligent.
is pretty astounding about Belle is that she sacrifices her life for her father, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, no, she's definitely my favorite princess, and she's a lot of people's favorite princess, so thank you for doing her such justice. And thank you for being here again with me today.
Well, thank you.
Good job, Sarah. Very, very good.
Sweaty, sweaty, sweaty.
You did great.